As far as the HTML markup, we're going to go ahead and create the About and the Contact page. Okay, we already have the menu items here. We just need to create the pages. So in the core folder, along with the index file, I'm going to create a new text document, and I'm going to call it about.html. And then also going to create contact.html. Now the contact form isn't going to actually work because that would require some server-side programming, and that's beyond the scope of this series. So we'll just have a form, a Bootstrap formatted form. Alright, so let's go ahead and open the About page in our editor. And basically I'm going to copy everything from index. So we want to grab all the content, paste it into About. And we'll start at the top here. Let's go ahead and let's change this to About, okay, the title. Everything else in the head will be the same. The navigation bar is going to be the same, so we don't have to touch any of this. Jumbotron, okay, we're going to take that out. Now this section here, I'm going to change the ID to About, and that'll basically wrap around all of the content. We're going to have a main area and then a sidebar. So the first column, first of all, let's just delete all the content in the column. Alright, we're going to change this to 8 because this is where the main content will be. And the next one, we're going to keep it 4. Okay, so we'll delete everything inside of that column. This is going to be the side. Actually, you know what? We're going to keep that because that's what we want in the sidebar. I'm actually going to change it to Demo 1. And then this last column we're going to get rid of because the first one is 8. So this, obviously 8, 4, and 4 is more than 12. Okay, so it has to equal 12 unless you're doing offsetting. Alright, so we have our main area and our sidebar here. The feature section we're going to get rid of entirely, and the footer should stay the same. Okay, so just to save it and see what it looks like. Okay, so we have the main area, sidebar, footer, menu. Now you'll notice that the home link is still highlighted, so we want to change that. Alright, and what we need to do is I'm going to copy or cut out this class active, and I'm going to paste this into this About link. Okay, it goes on the list item, not the actual link. Okay, so now the About menu link is highlighted. As far as the content, what we're going to do is just have some heading up here, a paragraph, and then we're going to use the accordion module that Bootstrap offers. Okay, but before we do any of that, I want to do the title, which is going to go right here, and it's going to have its own, it's going to have a green background. Actually, let me just show you real quick. Okay, so we'll have the About Gamma title, and it'll look like this. So let's go ahead and do that. We want to go right under the navigation, and I'm going to create a new section, and I'm going to give it the ID of title bar. Alright, and we're going to have that in a container. Alright, and we're going to put a row in here. Alright, and this is only going to be there's only going to be one div, and it's going to be 12 columns long. Alright, so we're going to do div class call MD12. And then we can put the H1, and we'll just say About Gamma, and save that. And if we go and reload, you can see that it's there, but it's not formatted. We got too much space here, and we need a background color. So we'll go to the CSS, and right above the footer, I'm going to say section ID title bar. Alright, and we want to, I'm going to make the height 80 pixels and the background, it's going to be our main blue color, which is 1CAA98, and we want to make sure that the color is white so we can see the text. Alright, and then below that I'm going to say section title bar H1, and we're going to say margin bottom 20 pixels. We should also take the default padding from the title bar, so I'm going to just set padding to 0 and margin to 0. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Alright, so that looks good. So next we have this paragraph right here, which is going to have an H2 tag. Okay, so we want to go right here. And we're just going to use some filler text. I'm going to go to lipsum.com and just generate some paragraphs. And I'm just going to grab, say about here is alright. Okay, so under the let's see, about section, about, oh, I didn't get rid of, oh, never mind, we just want to go right under the H2 and put a paragraph tag, paste the content and the end tag. Okay, so now we have our paragraph. Okay, so now we need to do the accordion. Okay, so we're going to go to getbootstrap.com, and I believe it's under the JavaScript menu item, and we're going to take a look at a lot of these throughout the course. But right now we want this collapse. Okay, so it's also called a collapse module, I guess, and basically it makes it so you can click a button or a link or whatever you'd like, and it'll make another div just slide up and down. Okay, here's the accordion example. Okay, so this is what we want. So we're just going to grab, it actually has all the code right here that you need. So we're going to copy that. You can see it's quite a bit. Make sure it's all copied, it's all highlighted before you copy. And then we're going to go right under the paragraph. I'm just going to put a BR tag here and paste that in. Okay, so I'm basically going to just tab this over a little bit. Alright, now this collapse module or accordion uses panels. Okay, so basically a panel is this here. It has this dark gray background, and if we go to, let me just show you, we're going to be using them through the series, but if we go to, I think it's components, and then down here we have panels. So if I click on that, you can see this is a basic panel. It just gives it a border with a round corner. This is a panel with a heading with a title. Panel with a footer. Alright, so basically you're just going to surround this in a div called panel, and then if you want the heading, you'll put that in its own div called panel heading, and then the body will go in panel body. Alright, so I just figured I'd mention that. So let's go ahead and save this and see what happens. Okay, so there it is. Okay, nice smooth transition, sliding effect. And that's it. That's all we need for our about page. Okay, so next we're going to do the contact page, which right now is just a blank page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy everything in the about page, and then I'm going to open up the contact and just paste that in. And then up at the top, we're going to change the title here. We'll change this to contact. Okay, this is all going to be the same. We do want to move the active class from about to contact. And we're going to keep this title bar. Okay, we're just going to change this to contact us. And then down here, change the section ID to contact, and we're going to have a container. It's going to have an 8-column div. Let's just delete everything that's in this div, including the accordion. So it should come down to, I think, right here. Yeah. Alright, so that should give us a kind of a blank slate. Alright. So now we need to create a form, and if we go to the Get Bootstrap site, you'll be going back and forth from this site quite a bit because they have all these nice snippets of code that you can just copy and paste. And we want to go to, I think forms is under CSS. Yeah, right here. So there's a few different types of forms we can use. This is a basic example, which is what we'll use. Okay. It has the code right here. We also have an inline form. So this would be used for something like a login or a newsletter subscribe or something like that. And then we have a horizontal form, which puts the labels to the left of the input as opposed to above it. Alright, so we're just going to grab the basic form and then just tweak it to our liking. You want to paste that right in the 8-column div. And I just want to tab it over a little. Whoops. Okay, so by default it gives us an email address, a password, and file input. Okay, so we can get rid of this whole file input. Now you want to get rid of the div of form group as well, because this surrounds every field. So we want to just go from there to there and delete. We also want to delete this checkbox div. Okay, so from here to here. Alright, and then above here we have an email address. We'll leave this because we're going to have an email address field. I'm going to get rid of this for attribute. I just want to clean this up a little. We don't need an ID, okay, because obviously we're not going to add any functionality to the form, so we don't need that. Placeholder, enter email is good. Class, every field has to have this class if you want it formatted nicely. And then the type of the input is email, which is fine. You could also use text. This password field, I'm going to get rid of this, so from this div to there, and I'm going to copy this whole form group for the email field and paste it. My keyboard is not working. Okay, so I'm going to paste that, and then I'm going to change this to, let's just do name, and then the type is going to be text. And then I'm going to change the placeholder to enter name. Capitalize this as well. And that's our name field. Okay, so we want name. Let's do a company as well. Company name. Company name. Okay, that's going to stay text. So name, company name, email address. Now let's do a message area, which is a text area. So I'm actually just going to copy this. Okay, it's going to be wrapped in this div class again, this form group. The label, let's say message. And this is actually going to be a text area. So I'm going to just replace this input with a text area, and we do want to give that a class of form control.
Dead. Awesome.
Okay, and we can also do a placeholder. enter message. Alright, and then we need a closing text area tag, and that should be good. Submit button is fine, so let's save this and go and reload, and there's our form, nicely formatted, stretches across the area. We have padding, we have rounded corners, we have a highlight effect. So you can see that using a framework like Bootstrap, it's just really easy to implement things like this. You don't have to add your own custom styles. It just looks nice to begin with. So that looks good. So we have our 3 pages. In the next video, what I want to do is make it totally responsive. We're using the grid system, so it is responsive, but there's a few things we need to change. So we will do that next.